Okay. This meeting is being recorded, so just know that if you are inside the Zoom, that you will be inside the chat, panelists and attendees. Welcome, welcome. If you're brand new, let us know in the chat that you are new. I'm Laura St. John from Strong Confident Living. I am here to help you up spiral your life in a positive direction. Strong Confident Living, we are part right now of inside a 6-week challenge to help you shift from a down spiral that might be going on into an up spiral, meaning how can you shift the negative to the positive. So this is Willpower Week, and I want to focus around what little decisions, what big decisions may be weighing on you right now in your life, and how, especially with your health goals, your fitness goals, but really any goals, because how you show up usually in one area kind of oozes into other areas. So I'm going to start with, a focus of your health, a focus of your fitness, but I'm definitely here as a mindset coach to help you unstuck yourself and get you to your goals faster. So that's 100% my purpose and intention, is to move you from any fear or lack that may be paralyzing you and indecision, and help you shift out of that into love, abundance, and a newer space that maybe you haven't been in, or that you haven't practiced enough in to stay in, to really create your next chapter. And so I'm going to shed some light. We're going to make this interactive. If you were around last Wednesday, we did this last week and it was really successful. The comments and feedback that I got on it the next day was awesome. And I really enjoy kind of being put on the spot and teaching my lessons in an interactive way that bring my lessons right inside the content that you're bringing me in tonight's session. So it's kind of like as if I was privately coaching you one-on-one, but know that you being courageous and sharing some of your struggles shine such a light of inspiration for anyone who is experiencing a similar struggle. So I really just invite you to kind of open your hearts to your own self. Sometimes that's hard for ourselves. Open your hearts more tonight for your own self and for the betterment of anybody and everybody who might be tuning in and struggling in some area. So because it's the focus of willpower, which is very broad, I'm going to talk quickly about what willpower is, what it's not, and then I'm going to invite you, the audience. And if you're on Facebook or you're seeing this at a later date in YouTube or different places that this video may exist, this is an extension of the content, especially for our members inside Strong Confident Living. So before I forget, because I'm just going to dive right in, I want to just share with you, here I am, that as far as Strong Confident Living, if you're interested in learning more and you're not already inside our content, please visit at any time strongconfidentliving.com, my website. And I'm the Laura side. There's a Scott side, that's the fitness side. I'm the mindset side, that's Laura. And all the mindset coaching stuff is in here. And once you're in, you'll see all the different courses and classes. So this is a extension of how I bring now public workshops and the members' content kind of to the outside. But for our members who are going inside and taking our 6-week transformation course, we've gone through some tools. We've gone through attitude, how to flip negative to positive. And where we're at right now, the focus of this workshop, and it's going to be helpful to everyone, is how to flex more willpower, how to boost your motivation. When do you test yourself versus trust yourself? And where are you setting up these unintentional tests in life because you're coming from a fear or you're coming from lack? So I'm going to quickly cover, and what I want you to think about right now is, where are you struggling with willpower? Like you're like, Laura, this is what always feels like a battle of me versus me, or me versus blank as something external outside of me. So, in our 6-week course and emotional eating and all that stuff, it's often a battle of you versus food, or you versus the scale, or you versus these things that are measuring you. But that can also mean you versus another person, or you versus a relationship that you might be having. So a lot of these principles are just principles that you can apply into things. What willpower, my definition of willpower is the power of will. Your ability, it's like a human superpower, in my opinion. It's the power of free will, the ability to use our mind to make choices, free will. And sometimes people can already be like, the excuses are pouring in, Laura. I hear the but, Laura, you don't understand. I got this going on. I got that going on. I don't have free will. And I understand. I'm not here to diminish problems. I'm just here to say there's always another perspective on how you can go about choices. Okay. The next decision is your best decision. The best decision is your next decision. Like we say a lot during Willpower Week, it's decision and go time for a lot of people right now in all kinds of areas of their life. When struggle hits you, what is your willpower like? Where do you go? We talked about this last week. Do you run and hide? Do you fight? Do you this? Do you that? So what willpower is, again, is this power of will, the power to make choices. It's a human right, in my opinion. And guys, just take or leave whatever I have to say, literally just comes, and it comes right out of my heart. So I'm just going to keep spewing it out. But it's the power of will. Now, does it mean that it doesn't mean that it's easy. Some big decisions can feel very difficult and hard, but it's still a decision. Do I stay? Do I go? Decision. Is this an end or is this a turning point? Decision. Every end is a new beginning, right? Decision on how you look at that. One door closes, one door opens. Okay, these are all, glass half empty, glass half full perspectives. And again, I'm not here to diminish anything that might be going on, because you might have a very logical brain saying, but here's why I am stuck. And here, let me tell you how hard it is. But I'm here to also shed light on whatever that thing is for you, to say, but there's still another decision or solution, perhaps, that you have not uncovered yet. So the purpose of this broadcast, the purpose of this coming together in this meeting, is not only to help you take my content and help people go through the 6-week course that I've developed, but to shed more light on other hope or possibilities or things that you haven't seen. And in many cases, it's about you thinking bigger. You need to think bigger. You need to think much bigger. And when you get to that place, like, this big thing is going to shrink a little. Okay, it's going to shrink a little bit, and it's not going to feel as fearful as it might feel to you right now in the present moment. So that's one of the perspectives. What willpower is not, is it's not intended to be a battle. As soon as someone says, Laura, I've got no willpower, this is happening, that's happening. Let's just relate it to food, because food is easy for me to teach you the subject. Laura, when the bread and cheesy appetizers come out, my mouth waters and I've got no willpower, right? Let's just say that. Or when this happens, trigger, whatever that trigger is, bread and cheesy things, insert annoying coworker, insert whatever you need to insert. I lose the power of will. I lose my power, because really so this is where we misinterpret it, because I promised you when I emailed you all out that I'd go through what willpower is, power of will, power of choice, and what it is not. This is where we misconstrue willpower. It is not you versus anything, but we make it that way. We make up an entire story around us versus this external thing. And the stories we create around it keep us stuck in it. So we feel the emotional pang of the pain of whatever is happening between us and this battle of something outside of us. But then we are able to logically explain to ourselves, this is why this is happening, and this is why I must stay stuck, and this is why I can't do X, Y, or Z. And the story that we create, the thoughts that we build around the emotion, marries one another, inserts in our memories, and it kind of keeps us in this holding pattern. So what willpower is not intended to be is you versus an external thing to prove your strength to anything outside of you. Life is not a totem pole. A lot of people are like, let me make it about me versus the cake. So if I put the cake right here and I don't eat the cake, I win. And this is where it's testing versus trusting. If you are testing yourself, let me just see if this person is mean or nice to me today. let me see if XYZ outside of me, external thing, you insert your thing, it like does this. And you are constantly then gonna go about life being like, well, we'll see what today brings. We'll see what life throws me today, whether it's gonna be a good day or a bad day. And in that moment, you choose to give up one of the strongest powers, your willpower, because you're making it about the battle and you're making it about your power being something versus something, which pulls the power out from inside of you, which is where it should live, and how I'll help you light it up. And it takes it and it pulls it out and it puts it in the thing that you're fighting. And it not only gives that some more of your power, but it actually trains you as if it's this thing outside of you. So it's me versus this thing, me versus this person, me versus the cake. And if I win, it means I chose this direction. And your winning is coming from a not trusting place. It's coming from a lack. It's not coming from abundance and love. And you're like, and if the thing wins, then it's like you're setting up these win-lose situations. It's a very unhealthy way to go about what you want to actually crush in terms of your goals. It's a very like simple way to keep you stuck, to keep you frustrated, to build up resentment, to literally like have the same old continue to repeat itself. So I'm here to shake things up tonight. Okay, I'm here to shake things up. Welcome, guys, as you're just tuning in. So glad you're here. But think deeply about this. Where am I battling something outside of me that I think that if it wins, it's taking my power? But if I am able to beat it, then I win. But then I'm still telling myself that power exists outside of me. And it really exists. If you really want to harness willpower, it's flexing internal trust. It's flexing, like, again, testing versus trusting. If I have to wait for evidence to see whether someone acts a certain way or whether I act a certain way in participation in this relationship with food, the scale, this person, whatever, you are participating in that struggle. So my goal is to help you break yourself free of that. And my goal is to help you, through whatever, you guys want to even bring up to me tonight. I would love to keep it as much health and fitness oriented as possible, but I'm open to other things because I know we break into, relationships with each other, relationships with toxic, like relationships with financial success. Like, where are you battling that you would like to not be battling anymore? Because willpower is a huge factor at play. And my goal again is to light it up on the inside by shifting you. So now we're going to open it up. Okay, so that's willpower. Now you got to own up to yourself. Like, where am I battling? Where am I having a battle? Everyone's got a battle. Okay. And some of the hardest ones we carry silently. And, when you're inside this chat, I can't see anything that's going on publicly, but I can see the internal. So just think about, where do you struggle right now? And it could be light. It doesn't have to be anything super deep. It could be on the daily. Okay. It doesn't have to be this huge problem, but think about and just start to chat in the online chat here in Zoom. Where do you battle? Okay. Battle with pain. Okay. What kind of physical pain? Let me know. I deal with all kinds of pain. So physical pain. Okay. Dealing with physical pain. I battle physical pain. Okay. That's one thing. Where, just keep going, guys. I'm going to just run through them. Where do you struggle with willpower? Where do you feel like, Laura, I don't get it. Like, this is when my willpower just disappears. It could be as simple as I have 2 drinks and I promised myself I wouldn't do that. And then I have 3 and I have 4 and then I just eat everything, or it could be anything. Where do you kind of have a willpower battle? Negative mindset, anxiety. Okay, so these are all battles of, in these cases, of you versus you. Eating healthy, exercise. Cool. So when you're inside the content, I want to just make sure you know that this goes, what I'm talking about goes with the online lessons that are how to flex willpower. And if any of them are specific around food, exercise, you're going to love this. Like Holly just said, food and exercise and different things, how to boost motivation. This is all willpower to work out, how to actually turn on the inspiration when the motivation fades, how to control your eating, how to shed, this is the you versus you battle. So sweet. Welcome in from Australia. I love that. Indianapolis. Awesome. Okay. You guys are just all tuning in from all different places. Okay. So pain, physical pain, negative mindset, anxiety. I'm going to work my way up. So let's talk anxiety. Okay. Who's not anxious a little bit right now, right? If you don't have a little stress, a little anxiety going on in your life, then, that's just really normal. So I'm just going to do a few things with you guys. I'm going to do what I said last week, which is speaking to you from your future version of you. If that's what comes out of me, then just roll with it. I may do a flip it list with you. I may do that more of like my congratulations card. I'm going to use some of my mindset tools to kind of redirect the focus of this. And you're like, Laura, this is what I'm battling against. How do I get out of it? Okay. So sweet. All right. Thank you for keeping them coming. And I'm just going to run through these. All right, let's just talk real fast because this is like the simplest place for me to start is battling against, committing to exercise and being healthy. Okay. One of the most important things with willpower in any battle that you're creating for yourself is my vision bigger than my past problems? Okay. Make sure you write that down, because if your vision isn't pulling you to the next version of you, you are actually inviting a willpower battle between you and your past you. So that should be really clear and across the board for all of you right now. But let's just say eating healthy and exercise. It will go to your past reference points. Your brain needs a target or it will create one. So your eating healthy and exercise plan has to not be from punishment. It has to not be from where you're hating yourself right now for maybe, and I have no idea, Holly, where you're at, but this is just an example. If you're not happy with yourself in your own skin, it's very difficult to step into a plan and then want to stick to it because you're unhappy with where you're currently at. You're inviting all the guilt and shame into a willpower battle that's going to make you lose consistency. It's going to make you want to fall off because all those past reference points, all those past problems that led you to this moment of feeling unhealthy and not feeling like you're sticking to an exercise plan brought you to this moment. So if you get what I'm saying with willpower, you have at every moment, this new moment to create a new decision, to create a new path. But that path, that if you really want it to light up towards, you got to create your future vision of yourself that's brighter and bigger. That's why I said you must think bigger, because then on the bigger days, like on the days you don't wanna, it's gonna pull you even further because you're gonna be like, you're not gonna feel the sidetrack as much. So here's the dealio with that. And everyone think of this with any of your willpower battles. If I don't make a clearer, bigger version, like of the vision of how I see myself moving forward out of this, not only am I inviting myself to stay stuck and battling my old problems because they're bigger than the future vision. So this should be a ding, ding, ding moment. I got to get my ding, ding, ding bell for a lot of you. It should be a huge moment right now. Oh, this is so clear to me right now. I'm feeling a little stuck. I'm feeling a little willpower battle. I'm struggling against myself. I haven't stretched my brain big enough. Maybe I've only thought 1 year in advance. Maybe I've only thought 10 days from now. Maybe I've only thought about how crappy I feel right now in my physical body. And I'm trying to actually move in a direction from that place. Now, I will meet you there in our content. I never say that you need to not start from where you are, but you need to go to your future self, to a place that this has been solved. And you need to create your vision from that version of you, and then you bring it back to today. That will change everything. That is how I create everything in my life. That's magnificent. I go to the future version. I go to my kids' weddings and like I see them in their 30s, and then I bring my back my parenting back to today. And then I'm like, you gotta stay home today. I'm not gonna sweat it. I go to like a future, like you gotta broaden the perspective. Like even when I was 35 and I was so unhappy in my own skin, I didn't own shorts. I was unhappy. I like was not like, I was so like not the version of me you see right now. I went to this version of me, the 45-year-old version of Laura St. John. And I'm like, I gotta think bigger. I gotta be like, where am I 10 years from now bigger? How clear is that vision? What does it look like? What does it like smell like? What does it like? What does it taste like when I sip coffee? Like I pictured myself sipping coffee in my 45-year-old body, happy to be able to open up my closet, put my clothes on, and exercise a couple times a week and just love on myself. So you got to create, so you got to go to your future you, grab the vision of it, make it so much bigger, so much clearer, so much brighter. And then you take the energy and essence of that version of you, which I will teach you how to do. Okay, that's why I that's why I taught the 2-second movie concept. It's why I teach the congratulations card. It's why I teach you guys the flip it list. It's why I teach you all the tools and make sure you're following the worksheets and things that are inside the 6-week challenge so you get these tools. Okay, so the extension of this that I hope is a huge takeaway for you guys, and I'm just going to speak to Holly right now with her eating healthy and exercise routine, is Holly, this is like the simplest thing for me to coach you on because I've done this. I have zero resistance to helping people create a new body. Zero. Okay. Because it's easy for me because I've not only done it, I've helped tons of people do it. So girl, you have to. I don't know how old you are, but you got to go 10 years and make a leap and be like, I'm going to look and feel better with every decade. And that version of me is so proud that I stuck to a fitness plan. That version of me is so proud that I did the 1 scoop of sugar versus 4 scoops of sugar. That version of me is so proud of my accomplishments. And I'm going to feel that pride and joy in myself right now. I'm going to bring that pride and joy back with me to September 2021, okay, versus September, 2031. OMG, right? But you go to 2031 and be like, I figured that all out. And it didn't take 10 years. It took only a few months. I did this mindset coaching. I joined Laura St. John's courses. I did all these things and it happened dramatically fast because I tapped into a higher version of me that I thought would be in a linear timeline and it would take maybe months or weeks or years. But because I started to feel that version of me in today, I brought that future version to now because all we have is now. But I tapped in, I brought it back in, and wow, I can feel that now. And that's a practice. And I will train you guys to be incredibly amazing in this practice because it is a skill set, what I'm teaching you. This is not just a Laura St. John ism. This is something I was brought into for my entire life. Okay, this is not, I mean, yes, I'm teaching it and I don't know who else teaches it the way I teach it because I bring it very practical in a sense, but this is a way of like how I move about the world. This is a way of how I do anything. Like before I even go into this meeting, I imagine the outcome that I want to feel at dinner time tonight with me and my family being like, I just like rocked like an awesome hour with the most awesome people. I helped shift some willpower around and I'll do it for the next hour, but I'll do it for my next 10 years. And do you get the point of that? Is that once you practice this skill, you go into every phone call differently, every interaction differently. You're always projecting a positive outcome and then bringing that version of you into this moment. And that will help your willpower soar because your vision becomes so big and so bright for what you see of yourself and your healthy journey and you're living in this body and like I have this sexy dress on and it's like I like love the way I feel today and I'm like I feel so strong and confident. Like I did not feel this way. And I'm like, I'm going to rock this thing. I feel amazing today. I want to give my energy to all this people. And that's exactly, Holly, what you need to do and that's everybody, what you need to do with any area where you're battling right now. I got to go to the future thing. I got to see myself 6 months from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Oh my goodness, that version of me is not judging. That version of me doesn't feel as bad as the current version of me. That version of me is not battling. Gosh, the resistance has just fallen away. And when I can tap into that version of me and I can bring her back to this version of me, wow, I can love on myself so much more knowing that I'm on this path. And then willpower, the power of will, kicks right in, because your bright star of where you're headed in that category of your life is so crystal clear that it's like yes and no becomes so clear. You were like, this is can only be in one of two things. That either fits the 2031 version of Holly's exercise and healthy body routine, and it fits it like a glove. It's a fit. You know it. Then you like rise up in your intuition. Like all these other benefits are going to happen to you all because you're like, that's in line. That is in line with the vision. Okay. And I can feel that vision right now because I've learned to practice what it feels like to feel good about my healthy exercise routine. I've practiced what it actually feels like to feel good about loving my own body and the person that's inside it that's going through this transformation. I can see that future version of me, and it's awesome that someday I'll like laugh all this stuff off. I'll laugh off that I battled these things, whether it was a piece of pie or a person that was treating me incorrectly. Like these lines and clarity become clear. The boundaries of me protecting my vision and my future and where I'm going are clear. The path lights up. So that's where willpower literally skyrockets, because all willpower is the power of will, the power to make decisions. You will move in that moment from testing to trusting, because you're like, let the next thing unfold. Whoops, I made a mistake. I fell off my exercise routine. Ugh, it felt uncomfortable, Laura. I guess that was my little push. Remember, I'm either in line or not in line. When I'm not in line, it feels uncomfortable. The more clear, this should be another big ding ding for you guys. The more clear I am in line with where I'm going for my future version of myself, the more clear I am, the more uncomfortable it is when I sway from that vision. When I make an action, a choice, when I have a negative thought or an emotion that is not in line with where I want to be going, it doesn't feel good to me. Oh, who knew? That's intuition. That's your inner knowing guiding you at all times. Oh yeah, go that way. That feels good. Yes, it's in line with where you're headed. Not feel good, not in line. Okay. And this is where, again, most people then continue to test themselves. It feels terrible. I'm terrible. I'm doing everything wrong. Let me give up on myself. And that's where willpower goes down, because again, you're making it about a test. Life, people, is not a test. You did not come to planet Earth to test yourself and test all these other people and try to change other people's behaviors and give them your power and make them like a test. Are they going to be nice? Are they going to be mean? This is not that. I mean, you can, but that is not going to help you bring out the most physically amazing version of you in this lifetime. So if you're ready to release those things, which is literally happening everywhere on the planet, okay, I can feel this on a much grander scale, which is why I'm always trying to push you guys to stop sweating the detours. You have to think bigger right now. So on a micro level, it's happening. On a macro level, it's happening on planet Earth. And things are shifting. We feel that. So you can either look outside and be like, this is one giant test. Everything's falling apart, right? And you can test everything. Believe me, I am inside it. I am in it too, okay? I'm a counterpart on this planet with you and being like, oh my God, really? I could feel that. I could feel the negative and positive of all the things happening. However, I believe in the positive outcome, always. That is a no matter what that I was trained on from being a very young girl with my brain still forming. That I believe in the positive outcome awaiting when I cannot see it. And when you get to that level where I'm like, I don't get this struggle. I don't know why I'm experiencing it. I haven't quite figured out why I'm what I'm meant to learn here. But if I'm poking at it and I'm trying to figure out why, I'm getting lost and I'm not trusting it. I'm going to start testing it. I'm going to start making it a me about this thing, me versus this thing battle. And I know better now. I know not to do that. I know to release that right away. So that's when I'm like, oh, I need to make a bigger vision. This is my ding ding when I'm getting stuck in a willpower battle that I'm getting detoured. My vision is getting detoured and my blinders were off for a moment and fear seeps in and my self-doubt seep in, or things that are going on in the world will seep in because there's a ton of negativity going on. And on the opposite side, the polar side of that, there's positivity also happening. Okay, look at you all here shifting. So don't discount what you're going through right now, especially with challenges and struggles. You are meant in this moment to be stitching it up. I keep saying we're stitching up these holes and we're pouring love in, and it's going to help not just you, it's going to help other people because your energy can be felt by others even as you walk in a room. Okay, so you're meant to be shifting this negative stuff into the positive with clear decisions. So you should be asking yourself right now, are my decisions like difficult? Where are they difficult? How can I brighten my future? How can I go to that future version of myself? So I hope all these things, even though I just adjusted it a bit to Holly's healthy exercise routine and going to her future 2031 self, but everyone needs to do that with all the problems you just listed in the Zoom chat, which was like, ask yourself very similar questions. All right. That was a long Laura St. John part. Okay. I'm lazy basically. No, you're not. That's going to perpetuate that. Okay. I mean, you're like, that's you starting from where you are right now. Okay. So negative mindset, anxiety. I'm just going to read through these. I used to be very fit, healthy, and sporty. I battle with how to get back to where I was. Okay. I got to drop a quick wisdom bomb on that real fast. You guys stop trying to move back ever to where you were. That would be like, I had 3 babies and I need to get my pre-baby body back. Well, that pre-baby body back does not exist. That would be like you guys, and I just got to like throw a funny example being like, I need to be my 10-year-old self right now. You can't. Like you physically have your body has changed. Like I think it's every 7 years, all your cells have changed and reinvented themselves. Like you're not even physically, maybe I think your brain cells are the only thing that like you keep. Like you're not even physically the same person that you were years ago. So everyone has to stop the feeling ever of I need to get back to in anything, money that I lost, relationship that I lost, body that I lost, because like, no, you need to find the next version of you, not go back to. It's a very, I have to highlight that, and I don't mean to like shine a light on it in that way that you're doing. It's not wrong or right. It's just to move you into the energy of creation versus I got to go backwards to that. So a lot of people do that. And if you take my body image course, you'll see it's one of like the main themes of some of the lessons in there that are like, you can't put like, and I see this all the time, having owned gyms and stuff in the past, that people would be like, see this picture? This is what I need to look like again. Okay. And let me put my picture on my phone. So I'm reminded about how sucky I am right now. Let me put it on my vision board. Let me stick it right in my face and remind myself of all the lack and the not enough that I feel right now. And then let me take more action. Let me do more exercise and let me do more. And then a few days later, you're like, I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like doing this. Yeah, ding, ding. Like that's not coming from inspiration. That is not coming from anything that will keep you motivated. That is coming from fear, negativity, and lack. So I'm here to shine the light, to push you forward, to be like, listen, stop ever trying to go backwards. You're always progressing forwards, even when it feels like you take 3 steps forward, 10 steps back, even in your business and anything, you are still progressing forward. So I want to reframe you guys from a willpower stance, from a decision-making mode, that all I have is right now moving forward. Like, even when my brain tries to bring up an old fear, an old reference point, even if it wants to show me how, how much like I used to look like 20 pounds less than I am right now, whatever it is, I still only have right now moving forward. And every day is a beautiful day that I get to breathe and live in another day, another day, another day. So everything will shift for you from a willpower perspective. And this is why I try to bring you so forward to your future you. I did a little video today that like I bring myself, and I've told you guys this before, to my 100-year-old version of me that has all the wisdom of this Laura St. John lifetime. And people ask like, how do you tap into this level of truth and wisdom, Laura, at age 45? I'm like, well, I've experienced a whole bunch of things. I leave my past problems behind. I literally carve a future to, like, I say thanks, but no thanks to them. I don't want to experience you again and again. So thanks, thanks, but I'm just going to drop you here. And I'm going to, continue to create moving forward, create moving forward, create moving forward. So that's a big ism that, Nicole, thank you for bringing that up, because I go to that 100-year-old self that literally like can say like, okay, you ate the donut on September 11th of 2021, Laura, you ate that like Trader Joe's donut. And for 1 second you were like, should I eat the donut? And then your 100-year-old self was like, eat the donut. Like eat the donut. And then I ate the donut, and then I went to the September 11th like amazing memorial here, and I like thought about all the beautiful humans, and like it was like, you know what, if September 11th was my last day and I have like I personally lost people on that day, like I'm like, thank God I had the donut. So sometimes you have to like remove yourself so much from the pain of where you are right now and the judgment of what you're feeling right now. Ask yourself with your willpower battles, what am I judging right now? Judgment of my current position, my body, my relationship, my negative mindset, my anxiety, me judging these things that I'm battling against is keeping me emotionally locked and leashed to it. Okay? Me judging it is moving me from out of love and directly into fear. Because fear has conditions. It divides. Love is no conditions. Unconditional love, meaning zero judgment. And that is why when you guys join Strong Confident Living, you feel like this warmth and lightness about us, because the whole community is literally here to be like, just step right in. We got you. Come right in as you are. We will help you move forward from here. We don't need to know about all the problems of your past. We don't even need to know all the things that you're stuck in right now. I just want to help you guys turn whatever you're stuck in into your wish list. And then let's get to work on those. Let's make like massive action towards that. So that's the whole flip it list thing and the different things. All right, back to this. You guys can see how all these tips go into, okay, Laura, but I have a negative mindset, or I get stuck in anxiety. Let me read some of the others. Competence, decision-making, guilt. Let's see, doing what I say I'm gonna do. Okay, like sticking to my goals, being consistent. You will stick to your goals, I promise you, if you make your vision brighter. Every answer like in so many of these things is your vision's not bright enough. It's not clear enough. It's not big enough. You need to go bigger. If you do not wake up, and believe me, this is a practice and you'll get to this, but like I wake up and I'm like, I get, the only anxiety that I get is like Scott even came in earlier and I'm like, I am having so much fun making all these videos. I'm like, I just want to freeze time so I can bring more content into the world. I'm like, I just want to freeze it because I'm like, I still got to send emails about tonight's broadcast and different things, but like, I'm having so much fun developing. And had I not made a willpower decision, a power of will, when I was against a struggle years ago, being like, what am I good at and what am I great at? And then this will be helpful for all of you in any kind of business. What am I good at and what am I great at? And I was like, well, I'm really good at XYZ, customer relations, sending emails, like doing all these things, like whatever. I'm really great at, speaking and coaching at a high level, but I was never getting to what I was great at. Never getting to what I actually, and I wasn't even great at it at those points. I just wanted to be great at. I was like, what do I want to be great at? And I had to make a decision to literally like be like, I had to see the good things that I was doing as almost like a battle, like willpower, and decide I have to focus on my greats or I will never get to the expression of like what I want to be on this planet. So it was a battle of me versus my day, me versus time, never feeling like I had enough time. I'm sure you guys can relate, right? I mean, even today, I'm like, can I just freeze time? You know, it's still obviously something I'm working on. But it's just so interesting how it's going to keep moving. I'm just going to tell you this now. Your willpower battles are going to keep moving, and then you get lighter on them each time, the more clear you get towards where you want to be going. So you have to make these decisions that sometimes feel very tough in the moment, being like, all right, I'm going to hire someone to do emails. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start just like pressing go and going live and getting made fun of, like for all my, first year of making videos, and, still push through it. That was my testing, like what don't I want to do? Like I literally lost friends over my initial videos. Like people would block me. They would make fun of me. They would like, I couldn't even believe like what I got. But can you imagine if my vision to impact all these thousands of people was not bigger than that moment? I would have stopped. I would have let that little moment of those toxic people that I thought were my friends at the moment derail me. But now looking back, I'm like, they were the biggest gift because it pushed me to rise further. And I can see that because my vision's bigger. And now it changes your perspective through every challenge, because I've had that challenge and I've had other really big challenges that I don't even talk about because I don't want to breathe energy into them. But the big challenges that I've experienced, I'm just like, if had I not, and you guys could do this too with your shifting your willpower and decision making, that had I not still gone through that terrible thing or experience, it would not have pushed me to rise above it and make other decisions in my life, whatever that might be for you. So all these things work better for you when that vision's clearer. And you gotta ask yourself, what don't I want? You gotta do that flip it list tool, and you gotta really identify what you don't want to recognize what you do want, and then make that bigger, make it clearer, and do the congratulations card ding, and do all the tools that I like give you guys. All right, next ones. So I'm gonna kind of catch up on the comments here. I totally need that. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, you don't even need them to fake it till you make it. Okay, people are like, you don't even have to, because you can go to the future self and be like, congratulations, from your 2031 version of yourself 10 years from now, being like, you got over that relationship problem. You got over that big problem. You had no idea that it would come together. You let go of needing to control all the pieces. The best decision that you could have ever made was to let go a little bit, maybe surrender a little bit more, recognize that there's other powers at play, that you don't control everything going on in your life at all times, but you are in control of your happiness. You are in control of your decisions. You are in control of your reactions to what's going on. You are in control of your own boundaries. So you don't even need to fake it, because you could be like, there's a version of me, even if I don't feel it yet, that I know is past all this stuff. And let me go over there to the future for a little bit, and then let me keep bringing that into today. And so I don't know, I hope that really helps. Battling lack of motivation, energy, and happiness. I love it. Belinda, we got you. I hope this really pushed you. Telling myself right now, I can't harness my energy to work out and eat, well, then I won't obtain my goals in the external world. I feel that staying in line with my future success. Yes, stay in line with your future success, make it clearer and brighter. You got to do the 2-second movie idea, where you can imagine yourself in 2 seconds, like living in, like, think of what you guys are battling with. Imagine yourself trusting the process, and imagine yourself so past today's current problems. And like, again, you got to see a vision of yourself. Like I always say, bring it to the most mundane moments. See yourself driving in with your groceries, being like, it feels so good to be this future version of me with healthy groceries in the back. And I just worked out this morning, and like nothing's a struggle like it used to be. That version of you exists. Every version of you exists. The one that's even worse and the one that's even better. So why not tap into the one that's better? You will put yourself on a whole other timeline of your life. Okay, no kidding. I have a phone case. Never noticed the imprinted cover inside till just now. It says beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I love that. Yes, open your mind and design yourself completely. Your cells are always listening to your thoughts. So be nice to yourself. Imagine every thought that you have written all over your body for everybody to see. I saw an image of that once and it stuck with me that like someone had written with marker, don't do this, but like every nasty, hateful judgment comment that they ever thought about themselves, like when you look in the mirror. And you write it all over your skin so you physically see what your cells are listening to, because your cells actually, through epigenetics, science has proven this, have tiny little antenna things, and they're not just the biology of your genes. They are actually either moving toward a positive response or input, or they're moving away from negative. So your cells know, just like the tree knows to grow and let go of its dead leaves and regerminate that in the soil so it could grow stronger. Your cells know the same thing. Your cells want stability. Your cells want to thrive. Your cells in your body want to be healthy and strong. And they are seeking the positive input from your mind. So say amazing things to yourself. And if you've been trained, because maybe it was external voices that then became your own internal voices, well, now you're at whatever age you're at, and it's time to change your thoughts. And mindset is not only me teaching you guys how to manage your thoughts differently, but it's also that vision I keep talking about. It's making this clear, imagined vision of your future self. So you always know what you're working towards. Because like I said earlier, if your brain doesn't have a big, clear target that's bigger than your past problems, it will always bring you backwards to resolve them. Because as an organ in your body, that's its job. So you got to give it a better job. It's got a brighter job, and it's important. You are here right now to not fix the past. You're here to create your future. So use your past to only find clarity. Use your struggles to only pour love in so you can feel the strength. And you will change your life. And you will do it fast. This does not have to be 21-day thing. This is not going to have to be like a habit thing. This is a perspective thing. And I know you feel like, as a mindset coach, my job in a simple way is to propel people faster from point A to point B. And to me, that's what manifesting is. How do I help you see that future version of yourself, see what point B feels like, and bring it back into point A? Because I don't see it linearly. That's probably why I struggle sometimes with time. I see it exponentially in an up spiral. I don't see life like that, which is why I know I can help a lot of people. I don't feel it that way. That's why I can look at you and say, it's not that. You're not really stuck here. I can flip that point A to point B on its head and tell you that you're either going down or up, not really left or right in this reality that we are living in. We are literally you can go up, and you can up spiral, meaning you can bring more energy into your life. And that starts with you being nice to yourself. When you're nicer to yourself and you release the judgment, willpower battles and tests will not happen. When people are out to dinner with me and they're like, I don't get it, Laura, the dessert platter can go right by. And I'm like, yeah, I've had my 15% fun. It's not even a battle. It doesn't even feel like a struggle. So that whole the struggle is real thing, there's an entire broadcast in the 6-week challenge about that. The struggle is as real as I choose to make it in this moment right now. And I am either choosing to make it a battle based on the reference points that I have that are still causing me pain from my past, but I shrink them when my future is that much brighter. And with that, you will literally continue to step in and make different decisions quickly. Your clarity will be amazing. Okay. Thank you guys. I live in Denver. I live in Chicago. Surgical assistants. I'm glad I quit my job. I signed up for this because it's going to lead to great things. Nate, I love when people are finding me on new platforms right now. I'm like, you guys, I'm so pumped to be meeting new people and bringing you into the Strong Confident Living community. I'm so pumped. So Nate is a new person. Thank you. Love it. Yes. And see, like, I know I think originally found us and was talking about his job and moving forward and his purpose and being, being appreciated for his skill set. And these are all willpower battles or trustings, like testing or trusting. Let me test this. Like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to have an interview and I'm going to see if they recognize how good I am or how this I am. Test. You're setting up a test versus being like, this is my clear vision. This is exactly the job I want to land. This is the salary I'm aiming for. These are all the pieces that I want. And now I see myself in this suit or in this outfit and I'm like crushing it and I'm driving this car and I'm doing all these things and my life is like this bright. And I've created this amazing vision and I'm surrounded by all these people in my co-working space or whatever that I work in. I have created this huge vision. And I'm going to go into the interview being like, are you a match? Are you a match? And I'm going to feel my way through this interview and being like, it's going to be a yes or it's going to be a no. It's going to be so clear whether like you're kind of interviewing them. You're not coming from desperation. You are going to be like a magnet to your next job. And everybody that's listening, you're going to be a magnet to this, like to knowing this future version of you. It's huge. So this is like the depths of the depths that you guys get into. I know I'm, doing what I can in a 1 hour broadcast, but please, 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 I encourage you to make the time when you get inside Strong Confident Living. Okay. When you get inside and you join our programs, please, please carve the space for yourself to do the work. So when you go through the content and it's like how to make the vision board come true, how to draw the line in the sand and not move it. There's, again, these have the steps that I'm pointing you to with a minimum of 3 steps inside every lesson. And then some of the lessons have like worksheets and stuff. So you bring this to life. So this willpower battle, and then next week's my favorite. Well, I don't know. I always say that's my favorite, but next week's transformation. Like what willpower does when you do what I just like kind of talked about during this whole broadcast is it sets you up for your transformation and your breakthrough, which are the next 2 things that happen. Because then you're like, oh my goodness, it's no longer this. It's a release of the old you. It's a release of the old battles. It's the you moving forward, and transformation literally happens. And then breakthrough is an instant. Breakthrough is an aha moment where you're like, Laura, my life will never be the same now. Maybe it won't, even just from tonight's broadcast. Maybe if at minimum you learned that you need to create a much stronger, better vision for yourself, and you need to go through the courses. You need to do the Epic Goals course. When Nate joined in and he's looking, I think, from a job perspective, I'm like, you need to do the Epic Goals course. Then you need to do the No Excuses course. Those are crash courses. There's 5 lessons with 3 tips inside every lesson. You go through them, you write them down, you apply them, and you're like, how am I doing this today? 15 minutes. Why work tirelessly for 6, 7, 8 hours against the flow if you can carve little bits of time and completely change the course of your life? That's my invitation to you all, to do the work, to join the workshops that I give you, to take these deeper dives, and then roll up your sleeves inside and make sure you're carving the space for yourself. So I believe that we're looking at all the topics, and physical pain, emotional pain, mindset pain, negative thinking. I didn't go into that topic because I did last week. So I think it was Jody. I'll give you make sure that you have the recording on that one for last week. I covered how to shift out of physical pain, and we did a lot on that. That was actually the first question last week. All right, you guys, what do I want instead is a question I ask myself when a negative feeling arises. Amazing, Lori D. I could tell you've been in our programs for a long time. So I love when you share, because that I wouldn't have thought of that perspective. So see, you teach me too. I ask myself, what I'm doing today, is it serving my future self or repeating a past behavior? Yes, exactly. I can hardly wait. Okay. Oh, yes, yes. I'm gonna see you guys. Okay, you are awesome. I shared you with all my friends. Thank you. All right, peoples. We're at the hour mark. I've been going late the last couple of weeks, so I want to stay true to this session. I am hoping that some of you, in terms of willpower, will take a second look and take a little deep dive into yourself right now. And I want you to, if you do what you did, you'll get what you got. I say this to myself all the time. I love it. You guys are like dropping the wisdom bombs right back. I love it. If you do what you did, you'll get what you got. I love that. It's so true, right? Let's keep it effing simple. KIFS. Keep it flippin' simple. And I just saw this Albert Einstein post, like quote this past week, which was, if you can explain it simply, you understand it deeply. And I believe that the tools that are inside Strong Confident Living are designed with a very simple approach, because Scott's approach to fitness and exercise is profoundly deep. And when you join his fitness programs, when you guys go through them and you laugh and you have fun and you do our beginner stuff, you do our advanced stuff, and we meet you where you're at in that, like, it's profoundly like life-changing, and quickly, you see the changes in your body fast, because he simplifies the cueing. He keeps it simple. And the same thing with my mindset. I believe that I understand this like at an extremely deep level. I can go to the deepest depths in this, usually in any kind of deep conversation. And I love being even like sometimes like brought to that place. But I don't have to teach all the metaphysical or spiritual elements to it to share how you can practically like wake up tomorrow and live a very different life by envisioning a very different self and stepping into that person that you want to be right now. Like, you don't have to wait. Every friggin' moment is a new moment to reinvent yourself and not carry that dead weight forward. So I'm going to end with my little plant analogy, because I talked about the tree earlier, and I've got a beautiful tree right out my window. It does have some thorns on it, which is a little bit scary, but that's kind of like life, right? It's got like these giant thorns. I'll take a picture and I'll post it out in the Strong Confident Living community. But when I see the dead branches or the dead leaves fall off, that is like the old stuff. You guys, some of you are carrying those old dead branches still. You're like literally like trying to keep them on you as if you're the tree. But nature knows. It knows to let go and allow that, dead branch, or allow that, dead leaf to just go in and regerminate somehow. And it doesn't overthink it. It doesn't judge it. It just lets it go. It literally just releases it. And you don't have to have such a tight grip in trying to figure out your battles. Maybe it's not your battle to even figure out, even though you've been inside it. Maybe it's just been there so you can step aside from it and still create a space for yourself to create what's next for you. You're here for a scratch of time in the grand scheme of things. And I want you guys to make sure that you are stepping into the grandest life possible that you want to live. And I will help you guys get there. I will hold that bar. So thank you again for joining tonight. Thanks for sharing this broadcast. It was broadcasted to the Be Happy page on Facebook, because there's like over 1.5 million, I think, people there that are loving in the Strong Confident Living content. I will share it from there right inside the Strong Confident Living community. If you are not already part of the free, now private group of Strong Confident Living community, please join that group on Facebook. And if you're not already in my content, members, I love on you so much. You're like the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, get my kids out to school. I'm like, where are members? What's going on? Where are people's comments? Who has questions? Like, who can I help today? I go to you first, just so you know, and I see what the pulse of where everybody's at. And then I go into like, okay, what else is on my docket? But just know that like, you're such a priority to me. And I feel like you're such an extension of my family. And I just love you all. So have a beautiful night, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah, mwah.